my goodness, doesn't that just make you shiver? It sort of wraps up this entire winter, right? It's been brutal. It's hit so much of this country, and some analysts are now saying the snow and cold have affected food prices. Now, there's actually evidence our weather pattern could be changing. Thank goodness. Some are saying it could mean more rain out west, much needed, warmer winter weather in the north, all because of the latest El Nino forecast. But to help sort this all out, we're going to bring back meteorologist Samantha Moore. Sam, so good to see you again. Yeah. You know, a lot of people hear El Nino, but not quite sure what that means. And if it means something good, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of misconceptions about El Nino. Some people think it's El Nino. You can say El Nino storms moving into California, and that's not the case. El Nino sets up a weather pattern that can create a rainy scenario across the West Coast. Possibly. So let's talk about that. And by the way, it is an El Nino watch that has been issued by the Climate Prediction Center. And that means we do have a chance that El Nino could develop in the next 6 months. How strong will it be? We don't know. So this is normal when we're much warmer in the Western Pacific than we are in the East. These are sea surface temperatures you're seeing here. That white line represents the equator. And when we get into an El Nino pattern, what happens is we get weaker currents and the warmer water spreads to the east, and that changes the flow of the jet stream, the storm track. So things start to change all around the globe, but we're more concerned here about the U.S. at the moment, especially here in the West Coast. And what that means along the West Coast is potentially, if we get a strong El Nino, we could end up seeing 4 out of 5 of those strong El Nino years in the Bay Area, for example, will mean a much wetter winter. And it also means we'll likely be cooler and wetter across the southeast if we get a strong El Nino, and we could have fewer hurricanes and tropical storms as well. It impacts the tropical season too.
That's a good thing. What about, you said 6 months is when this is going to be moving in. How long does it last?
Well, generally, it lasts longer periods of time. It can last a good year, a year and a half. So it's climate. It's not a weather forecast. It's a climate forecast. So it's 2 different things. Climate means long-term weather patterns over a period of time. So that is the problem. And we've had this long-term drought across the West, the incredible drought in California, which is impacting all of the farming interests out there. And it's costing us a lot at the grocery store as well. And it's been incredibly dry across much of the West, well below average. I think we have a graphic showing you how far below average we are in the San Francisco Bay Area this year, and that has meant that we are in extreme drought across 93% of California, and exceptional drought across almost a quarter of the state. And it's not just California. We're talking Texas. Texas could also benefit if we get a nice, strong El Nino, but it all depends on the strength of the El Nino if we'll see any positive impacts as far as rainfall then.
So as you say, we'll see in about 6 months. We can keep our fingers crossed for those areas that really need the rain. Absolutely. And the warmth will always take. All right, Sam, thanks so much. Have a good weekend.
You bet. You too.